Thank you for watching. Um, I'm reading from the fiction novel I wrote, A Series of Miseries, a novella. It's you can find it on Amazon in paperback or Kindle. I wanted to read it aloud in case some people don't like to read the text. So I'm on chapter 5 right now, and we're gonna do a little bit later in the day than I normally do. So I apologize. There's a kind of a glare on me, but bear with me. Okay, here we are, back in chapter 5 in Miseries, a novella. The suspect back at the station refused to talk to anyone. He had nothing to say, but he did have a driver's license with the name Vito Terranzella. DeQuan's eyes widened when he saw the extensive rap sheet the man had. Everything from aggravated assault to minor drug possession. It seemed he was from Philadelphia, and a call to the Philly police let DeQuan know that he was suspected in 2 murders. In the interview room, DeQuan let Terranzella know what DeQuan had learned. DeQuan pushed for the gangster to tell him why he was in Red's house. Finally, Terranzella stammered, "I don't want to talk to Niederer. I'm only talking to him." He said nothing before that. He said, "I'm sorry." Finally, Terranzella stammered, "I want to talk to Niederer. I'm only talking to him." He said nothing before that, and he said nothing after that. Zumi absolutely refused to get Red involved again. "No way. Forget it. Let's turn him over to county lockup. Red's not in this anymore. You understand?" As it stood, though, things were getting rather late in the day, and Zumi had some urgent appointment to make, so he left. DeQuan thought it would still be a good idea to have Red to talk to the suspect in spite of Zumi. Disregarding the danger to his own career, he called Red and then drove to his house to pick him up. Within an hour after Zumi left the station, Red and DeQuan were in the interview room with Terranzella. Terranzella acted a little flustered that DeQuan was in the room with Red, but Red assured him it was better that way, and DeQuan said there was no way in hell he was leaving the two alone considering Terranzella's background. Red calmly looked Terranzella in the eye. "What do you have to tell me? Why did you have O'Brien's car?" "O'Brien is an old friend of mine. He gave me the car to hold a week ago and made me promise to get it to you if something happened to him." Red could not imagine what was going on. "Two questions, Vito. One, why a week ago did he give the car? And two, why did you ransack my house?" Vito stirred uneasily in his seat and replied, "He has some stuff in the trunk you should see, and he was worried about the person it's about. On the second thing, he wanted me to make things look like a burglary and put something in your house that you'd find later. I just didn't expect you home, and you confused the crap out of me with that BS about the groceries. I wasn't sure it was you." Red considered how satisfied and happy O'Brien seemed to be at their meeting, and yet he had this hanging over his head. "Speaking of leaving something, what's on the hard drive?" Vito had a look of honest ignorance on his face. "I have no idea. I owed Brian a lot for what he did for me in the old days. This was a small thing to give back. I just did what he asked." DeQuan interrupted. "And now you're facing burglary." Vito repeated. "Small price to pay." Vito looked at Red and grimaced. "O'Brien didn't kill himself, but you know that, right?" Red shook his head. "We don't know anything right now. It seems the more information we have, the less we know." Outside of the interview room, Red asked DeQuan about the car and the electronic gear. "Do the state guys have it yet? Have they looked over it?" "Probably haven't had time to." DeQuan told him, "Zumi's going to handle that. He said leave it up to him. He'll let me know." Then he hesitated. "If he doesn't have me fired for bringing you in." Red went home and thought about things. He wished he had searched the computer, the cell phone, the hard drive, and the car himself, but he wasn't a cop now, and it was all evidence. But all that was okay. He had planned on going to the SPCA to pick out a kitten or two. Red thought it might be nice to have some companionship. He'd been planning for weeks, but had not taken the time to do it. There was no need to wait. O'Brien's death gave him pause. Life could be cut off at any time. And we'll pick up with chapter 6 next time. Thank you for listening.